So I was on a live not too long ago where this gentleman was saying that basically if you aren't a believer, then God's not going to talk to you. And didn't feel free to say anything in the live because he kept talking about how women can't teach. And so, there's a big debate about that and what the word really meant when Timothy said that, but that's not what this is about. You guys remember in the story of Gideon when he was afraid of what God gave him to do? And God said, well, if you scared, go down there to the Midianite camp with your homeboy or whatever, and then listen out and see what you hear. And so when Gideon goes down there, one of the Midianites has a dream, and the other Midianite interprets the dream. They weren't of God. Pharaoh, he had the dream that told about the famine and the 7 years of famine, the 7 years of plenty, right? He wasn't of God, but Joseph, who was, interpreted it. Who else? There's another story I had before I started this video that I was thinking about, but my point is that we need to stop limiting God. God will use whoever he chooses to use. In his word, he says in the last days, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. He didn't say only the flesh that believes in me. He said all flesh. God will use anybody he needs to get his point across, to get his message out. It's up to us, the hearers, to have discernment and to ask Abba for discretion in who we're listening to and making sure we have the Ruach to telling us, that's itching ears. That's not for you, or whatever the case may be. Not to just take everybody who's out here saying that I had a dream about this and I heard this and I know this and I know that. Okay. Some of those things may be for everybody. Maybe some of those things are for you specifically. Maybe it's for a certain region. Who knows what it is? But all I'm saying is we can't limit God. We cannot limit him. He will use who he wants to use. He even used a donkey. So don't think because this person looks some kind of way, that God isn't using them to give you a word, or just because someone is giving you a word that they are really of God. Because in the last days, what does it say also? Depart from me, I never knew you, you workers of iniquity. And they're saying, but we did this in your name, we did that in your name. So again, it's all about discernment, because there are people who believe that they're walking in the spirit and the spirit has left them, just like Saul. And then there's people who you think are unqualified, who aren't even walking with God yet, but he's using them to send a message. Ask God about all these words. Ask God about these messages. That's all I'm saying.